That artist is the last item on the program today and is what we call the home stretch. Preye Odede, award-winning gospel music artist, singer, songwriter, and music director. He gained prominence with the release of his single, Ebezina, in 2010 and has since released several songs, as well as 2 albums to his credit. Thanks for joining us this morning.
It's such an honor, sir. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you so
I can tell you that my director says he has all of your songs on his playlist.
Amazing.
So you're gonna, I don't know whether you're gonna sue him or something, or collect royalties from him for having those songs. But it is interesting. First of all, tell us about yourself for a little bit.
Okay. Thank you for having me today. It's such an honor. After seeing you only on TV, and of course on social media. So such an honor to be here. So my name is Preye Odede.
I know. I've told everybody your name.
So I'm a gospel music artist.
I've told everybody that as well.
Okay. So I'm also into fashion designing. So I make clothes. I have a fashion brand called Scripts. Clothes.
If you advertise, you will pay. Tell us, how did this all start for you?
Okay, yeah, 2009. That was the first time I went into the studio. There we had this family crisis. It was actually, I'm from one home that was broken as at then, and then we were evicted from our house where we used to stay, house, in quote, because it wasn't our house, it was a shop. A lady's shop where we used to stay, more like a kiosk or something.
Is that to say you were also homeless at some point?
So that was why the story was so relatable, and it was really, So that was when that song came about, Ebezina. Then I used to sing this song. It came as an encouragement for me. It wasn't because I wanted to record. I wasn't looking forward to going to the studio to record, but though I wanted to be, to do this. But when it came in, I was just singing it, and somebody just said, why not just record the song? And we recorded, and that was it. From there, people started, calling for the songs, come and minister the song in churches and all of that. And then social media wasn't this big, so it was just on TV, just regular TV stations and all that. But we're here today.
12 years ago?
Yes, 12 years ago.
So what's the story been since then?
It's been from glory to glory, and that's why I'm here today. God has been merciful. In fact, when I heard that story before we came live here, it was really touching. So that I had to leave my present state where I was it took me back memory lane to see how far we've come, and that story really inspired me. And I just wish there's so much we can do for those people.
If we can stay on that for a bit, because gospel is good news.
Oh, yes.
And to move, in order for gospel to be impacting, it has to be relatable, which is why you could relate with those stories. Maybe for someone watching you right now, you want to encourage them. Everyone has a story. You may want to just encourage them, look, this is where you're coming from. This is some of the experiences that you've had. Because there are those who would have maybe like 10% of the situation you are in now, you were in at the time, and say, that's it, Third Mainland Bridge, here I come, jump over into the lagoon, or whichever dangerous place people may be in different parts of Nigeria or even the world, calling it quits and just giving up on life. What are some of the things that you have had to go through, and what would you say are the lessons that experience, or those experiences you had, taught you that have been principles that formed your life today?
Number one lesson is that hell has no sorrow that heaven cannot fix. So there's no sorrow in hell that heaven cannot fix. So like I said, one of the most difficult times in my life was when we were homeless. It was so bad that I was sharing this story yesterday. It was so bad that we did not have a toilet. So we were staying in a kiosk. The woman sells in the morning, and then in the evening we come to sleep. So I'll be in church, sometimes a security job, sometimes we gather bikes, to wash motorcycles.
How old were you at the time?
At that time I was really young, about people will be calculating, solving the math. But I was really young. I just came out of school. And then just
You
be
sound
washing.
like teenage then?
Yes. So just be washing bikes for people just in church. Then so it was really difficult. At some point the police caught us because what we do is we do our number 2, inside the polythene bag, put it in a bucket. Early in the morning we just go to a stream to dump it. And one of those morning the police caught us. So you were polluting, the streams and all of that. They caught us and it was really bad. So the highlight of it was when they came and they said this was illegal because the building, when you go to police barracks, you just see some structures, all those people selling around the police station. So that was the structure. And they came, they said it was an illegal structure. And I remember once when the militants came to the police barrack and they burnt the police station down and they threw dynamite everywhere. It was so bad that the whole place was hot, very hot. So we were running for our lives that night. It started around 1 a.m. till about 2 a.m. It was like an hour operation and it was really bad. And finally the police came and said, okay, no illegal structure in the barracks, and they brought everything down. We were just outside, nowhere to go. So that was the season the song came, the Ebezina song. The song says Ebezina, it means don't cry. God is so close. So God is even closer than your underwear. Like the way you feel your underwear, God is so close. So that was when the song came. I know you've been crying, I understand. I know you've been wounded. Well, it is okay. So that was when the song came. And to still bring me back to the story we just heard, and I must say thank you, Sunrise, for this platform, so that people can also know that hell has no sorrow that heaven cannot fix, and no matter how it may, be, it will there's always an end to everything. And then suicide is not an option. Diving into that water, you won't find accommodation in that water. Jumping there won't solve anything.
Well, the intention was to die, so it's not to look for accommodation.
So dying is not the solution. I believe there's life after. So dying is not the solution. So are you going to find the accommodation you were looking for when you finally die?
So 12 years and counting, and as you said, it's been from one level, to another, and all of that. What are some of the things that you would say have been encouraging in your journey thus far? There are those who would not know that every experience is a school, is a lecture for the next phase. What are some of those things that you have learned within the past 12 years since Ebezin?
Okay, one thing that happened that taught me one of those lessons was that there was a particular day I served, my youth service was in Sokoto State. So when that happened, we put my family, we put us in one of those trucks and we went to Bayelsa State, to just try to look for a place to stay. And I was going back to Sokoto State where I served. So that morning, I didn't know it was sanitation, environmental sanitation, and I missed the bus because I thought it was going to be by 9, and they left very early. I went to church, I was sleeping, I was singing. Somebody said, oh, your song, what you sang was good. What do you do? I said, I just came out of school. Okay, see me in my office. So I got a job on the 2nd of November, 2009. I got that job. It was in the oil and gas sector. I was just serving, as a welder's mate. I didn't know anything. And from there, I grew, and then it was just last year, on the 9th of September, I resigned so I can do this. So one of the things that happened was because I was so focused on doing this thing, I wasn't distracted. So someone found me doing music and said, okay, what do you do? I love the way you sing. The job was not to come and sing. The job was to come and do something. So I became more encouraged. So I had to fund somehow my music with what I had as at that time. So I became really encouraged. So I feel like from all I have been through, that particular thing, that particular time in my life actually got me moving until this point. And then the testimonies from people, they hear a song and they said, I was at this in this point of my life or at this point of my life and it was really difficult, but I heard this song, I became really encouraged. So that gets me going. And then when I see my family, I see my mom, I see people behind, people that believe something good can come out of you, and you just keep going. Just keep going. And of course the word of God.
How important was money in all of this? Because money was definitely a challenge at the time. So but then how important was getting money for you in the process of, first of all, dealing with poverty, and then dealing with purpose, getting a job, doing music? How important was money?
You know, as important as money can be, as at that time, there were a lot of things we did so that we can get money, but it wasn't coming. So at that point, I wasn't really focused about making so much money. I was chasing purpose. As
How easy is
somehow
that?
as
Come
this,
on, Preye.
as somehow
You
now
were
let me.
poor, so you must have been looking for money.
So the thing is, there's a way you get so poor that you can't believe that you can have money at a particular time. Have you ever been in the house, like these children were saying, have you ever been in the house and you're not doing anything? Where will money come from? As at that time. You just wake up in the morning and you're not doing anything. And you just have a mom that will go, sell bole on the road like that. So that is exactly what you're hoping for. You just came out of school and your mom tells you, this is all, at least we have tried. You're out of school. And then, of course, we know how the country is for you to be able to get jobs. So what we have to do is, but every day you wake up is just an encouragement that there is still life ahead. So at that point in time, what we're chasing is, like I said, purpose. You see, when you find purpose, I think things begin to align. Did
you know you were searching for purpose at the time?
At some point, I was so encouraged. And the truth is, you may not even know that you're searching for purpose.
Exactly my purpose. So
and what makes you feel you're actually looking for money? Succeeding. For you to succeed to at some point doesn't necessarily mean that you just got money. You just succeeded at doing something. On the long run, that thing can fetch you money. So that was exactly what I was trying to succeed and what I was doing as at that time.
Okay. So what are some of the support systems that have encouraged your music career now? You've talked about family and all of that, but what are some of the things that you would say, some of the structures or environments that you would say have supported you and helped you to grow this
I think
career?
the church has played a vital role. The church has played a vital role. And then, of course, I have people. I have people working with me, people that believed, outside my family, people that believed, I could just meet a drummer. Oh, I love the way you sing, so I want to work with you. Pianists, just like I have some people behind the camera, and that's why I'm here, because they felt, okay, I love what you're doing. We can actually be a part of this thing. And you having me here is also a support system. So I think that is really...
So I've been recruited now.
You have recruited me.
Okay, so this is where we are now. We understand that you are also a philanthropist and you focus on the Street to School project for kids.
Exactly.
Tell us about that.
Exactly. So I was also talking about it behind the scene. 2017 was when we started that. So we had what we call the Streets campaign. So we went to, in Port Harcourt, there's a place they call My One Market. So we had a concert and we saw people like these children and we had them. So we had to bring them out of school, out of the street, took them to school, register. In fact, at some point it was so discouraging because there was this particular woman that by the time we went to school did all the medicals and all of that. It wasn't really a very big school. And all of a sudden, she just traveled, carried the child, said they decided to go back to the village. I understood we had because they needed accommodation. And what we did was to first of all look for a small one room at that point in time. But when it was time, we could not find her. We also have the prison ministry where we go we do that once in Port Harcourt every June. We go to the prison and then we see some persons willing to write WAEC, get WAEC forms for them, get JAM for some of them in the prison. So we do that, get them clothing and all of that. And yeah, so.
You are one of the leading artists at the concert known as The Experience.
Oh, yes.
And you are said to be on the list of the top 100 influential gospel ministers in Nigeria. What is next from Preye?
Reaching out to people. I always tell people that if you ask me where I want to be in the next minute, in the next few years, I want to be in the heart of people. I want people to think and just say, oh, I was blessed. This person was able to reach out to me in one way or the other. If the music can't, I wish we just, like I was saying, I wish we just have what it takes to just go to the street and begin to bring people out. So my music for me is reaching out to people that's somehow hopeless, restoring people in any way we can. So before you hear the music, what if you don't have the gadget to listen to the music? Then we can also try to reach out to you in any way that we can. So for me is bringing out more music, of course, we just released an album last year, 28 November, no restrictions. So we're just going on a tour, that's why we're here in Lagos, going on a tour across the states in Nigeria and, of course, outside Nigeria.
The album is how many songs?
16 songs.
And this one that we're seeing on the screen now, what's the title?
This one is titled Oshimiri Atata. Oshimiri Atata, it means river that can never run dry. And I always tell stories, stories of the past where we've been, so people can really get encouraged. If you watch my videos closely, you just see, you find little children at some point, little children and women, mothers, because I'm telling the story of where I'm coming from and then how God restored even my mom. We just released the video yesterday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and you could also see that story. You see a little child, also telling the story, not the same story, but something different.
Okay. Very, very, very interesting experience. Well, hearing these things sometimes just sound like it's something utopian. It's not relatable. It's something that cannot be touched. So, what identity do you want Preye Odede to be known for?
I just want people. In fact, after I'm gone, this guy was able to bring hope to people. That guy that can, when you hear him, you just hear his songs, you're restored somehow. He brings hope to you, and then you find meaning, you find purpose to life.
What are the challenges you would say you encounter in this new space that you found yourself?
It's the space itself. Most times, it's the space itself, because the more you go, the higher you go. Sometimes it becomes too. Some things become too coded for you to understand. So I'm trying to see how I can explain this so that you have more people to reach out to, and then you try to understand how you can reach out to these people. But because of the way the system is, of course, at some point social media doesn't really tell the real story. So you try to reach out to people, but because they have a different mindset on how to be reached out to, it becomes a bit difficult for you to reach out to them. For instance, you come and then you want to reach out to a family. Like she said, I was so impressed on how she was able to retrieve those children from the street, convince some of their parents. But some people may not even accept because of how the society is right now. Because of, we see some ritual stuff on social media and how the narrative has been over the time. It becomes a problem, it becomes a challenge to reach out to
I'm talking about the challenges you have in the industry, in the gospel music industry.
For me, that's the industry for me.
Oh, really?
That's it for me. It's not about just singing the song. It's about reaching out to these people. This song, our songs, if you listen to from beginning to the end, it's not about Preye having the name, making the money. I was working for 12 years. For 12 years I've been working. So by the grace of God, I'm blessed. So I'm not all out for, okay, let's just chase and make money. It's about reaching out to people. When people hear the songs are not, some of the songs are not just commercial. However, talking about reaching out to people, of course, you also need fundings and all of that, which your music is also a tool to get all of this stuff. But of course, it's the gospel. And people have this mindset that the gospel music doesn't sell, it doesn't pay. And then on some of our stations, sometimes it is difficult for some stations to play gospel songs. They have timing. It has to be on Sunday for you to bring out your stuff. So those are those challenges. So I don't know.
You're going to have to find a way around those words. But how can anyone reach you on any of the social media platforms?
Okay, so on Instagram and on Twitter, Preye Odede, at Preye Odede, one more, Preye Odede, and then www.preyeodede.org.
You pay for that the website. Preye Odede, award-winning gospel singer, songwriter, and music director. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and we can only wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Such an honor. Thank you.
Okay, and with Preye Odede, we have come to the end of Sunrise today. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and bye for now.